Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Discord tier Thursday feature match between the Blizzard Bears and Aphelion. I am Mr. Yeti, joining you on this pre-show. Tonight we have BethCon and we have Specs joining us. We're going to take a look at both of these teams. Again, Blizzard Bears and Aphelion was sure to be a fantastic match tonight. We'll start with you, Beth. Why don't you break us down a little bit of info about the Blizzard Bears?
Yeah, so not a whole lot on the Blizzard Bears yet. They're a brand new team to the community. I talked to the GM just briefly, and he mentioned that their current roster was kind of a last-minute sort of thing, so they haven't had a whole lot of history together. That said, they're already looking pretty strong with a good win over Lotus last week, so I'm interested to see where they go from here.
Have looked very strong. Good run from the Blizzard Bears. Specs, tell us a little bit about what you know about Aphelion.
Yeah, so same kind of thing here with Beth. Not a ton with this team. Unfortunately, they started off the season with a loss. So they're looking to rebound coming back into week 2. They got a couple members here that are Tranquility veterans. So I have no doubt in them with Vet and with Ocean as their GM that they'll be able to bounce back and really look to come back together here.
Right. Taking a look again at that Blizzard Bears team, we'll talk a little bit about some of their players. Who stands out to you as the MVP of that squad, Beth?
So again, because I don't have a whole lot of information about them, I reached out to Silent, who's their GM, and he said that Silent is the MVP of the team for what he brings both in and out of the game. Watched a little bit of their match briefly, and he did seem to be a pretty strong presence for them on that DPS role, so gonna give it to him for this one.
Silent Ray, ever the confident GM and apparently DPS player. See if he fulfills that MVP role tonight. For Aphelion, Specs, who do you got?
Yeah, so I'm also looking at the most humble role in Overwatch, the DPS role. I'm looking at Kin, so highest rated overall or highest SR player on the team. Going back and watching their match from last week, the pop-off moments are really going to come from the DPS role here. So if Kin and if Hooch can combine for that, that's going to be their win condition, but Kin can definitely carry them here.
All right. Beth, it's very clear that Silent is not silent about his role in the team, but who else comes out on that team? Who's kind of a workhorse type player for the Blizzard Bears?
Yeah, so as far as their workhorse kind of flying under the radar players go, I have to give it to the tanks in general, but Kaliwag in specific. Watching their last game, they were able to play basically every single off tank and Hammond on top of that, all to a very high level. Lots of good communication, lots of good play coming out of them.
Kaliwag for the Blizzard Bears. Specs, what do you got up on the Aphelion?
Yeah, so it's going to be Vet. Again, this is the Tranquility veteran we've seen, former Jalapeno player. Really looking at the tank role, that's the workhorse kind of role in the meta right now. So it's not the pop-off opportunities, it's setting your team up to pop off. And I think Vet is probably the perfect example of doing that to a high level in the Tranquility tournament.
Now, the three of us here wouldn't be biased for his former Jalapeno.
Absolutely not.
Not possible. Beth, underrated players on this Blizzard Bears squad. Who's sneaking under the radar for that?
So the person I'm going to say is sneaking under the radar is Murph, or LA Smurf in the Discord, one of their support players. Just a really solid all-around player. Doesn't get a lot of mentioning because support role, but without the supports, the team's not going to do well, and they've been doing well, and got to owe part of that to her.
All right, Specs, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, you can't have a good tank line without a good duo. So really looking at Commander, that's the individual here that I'm looking to kind of come out and shine tonight.
Right, so two teams taking each other on. Blizzard Bears on that 1-0, Aphelion on the 0-1. Question is can Aphelion bounce back from the rough start? Beth, who do you pick tonight?
So Aphelion, correct me if I'm wrong, they only lost because they forfeited, right? So we haven't actually seen them play.
Correct.
That said, gotta give it to Vet, former teammate of mine, really strong main tank player. So I'm gonna give Aphelion a close 3-2 victory over Blizzard Bears this upcoming week.
All right, Specs, what about you? Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I also have Aphelion, but I actually have them taking it 3-1. Again, the roster really expecting some nice things out of them, and interested to see how they do tonight.
Right. Going to be an exciting match. I got Blizzard Bears taking this one personally, and I predicted that one to go a 4-0 Blizzard Bears. Apparently I don't believe in the Spicy Brethren as much as you guys do. Does that make me a bad person? It's up for debate. But what isn't up for debate is the excitement to come tonight here in our Thursday feature match. Be sure to tune in. Just coming around the corner, Blizzard Bears taking on Aphelion. Discord tier action. Stay tuned, coming around just a few moments.
Ew.
Ooh.
Welcome, Overwatch fans. Welcome to week 2, the last game of the week of Overwatch Tranquility. Tonight, we have the Discord tier. Hello, Captain Jack. We have the Discord tier. We got a pretty chill match. We got the Blizzard Bears and Aphelion. These two teams, pretty new. I mean, with Season 6, we don't know a lot about some of these teams. And, a lot to prove, both these teams. I mean, you have Blizzard Bears coming in 1-0. They had a pretty strong showing in their first game, and Aphelion 0-1. They're looking for that first win, and now there's a lot to prove for both these teams. Blizzard Bears, they want to keep this good streak going, and Aphelion, they want to get that first win, as I said. I am K-Wing on the play-by-play, and I'm here with Captain Jack on the color. And how you doing tonight, Jack?
I'm doing pretty great. It's been a really lax week for me, so I am excited to be back on the mic and ready to see this amazing matchup. I've already, I'm not going to be shy about it. I've already predicted the 4-0 for Blizzard Bears earlier this week. So, as a podcaster, all my incredible research, my big brain wrinkles that I've been utilizing to determine this number was literally me just knowing Blizzard Bears better, and by better I mean not much better, other than I did the beat drop with them. So I know that Blizzard Bears has a lot of great coordination. Some of the history that we know about the team, Toxtricity and Unholy are a very dangerous tank support duo. If Toxtricity is diving in, Unholy is right behind them and will keep them up the entire fight that they're swinging in the enemy backline. So I will not be surprised if Aphelion has some difficulty here. But I mean, Aphelion has got your boy Vet. And Vet was also voted my MVP for this season. So Vet, don't let me down. Don't let me down. I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong about Blizzard Bears. It's going to be a hard road for them to be able to climb back up. But again, it's only week 2. So when the teams are ready to go, we'll go ahead and get this show started. But until then, we want to remind you all, first off, thank you for being here. It's been so great to have you here the last couple of weeks. It's so good to be back. It's so good to see the numbers so incredibly high. Like, goodness gracious, almost 100 viewers every single night. Top 20, top 15 Overwatch streams every single week, folks. And that is all you. That's not us. Like, we're just doing the same thing we do every week. So thank you so much for being a great part of this community. And if you're not a part of this community yet, be sure to hit that heart, punch that bell so you get notified every time we're online. You can also hit that sub button, $4.99, or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime sub will give you access to some amazing emotes created by our community, as well as support said amazing community. So, first map of the week has already been decided. It's Nepal. Was decided for every match, something that we're trying new this season, just so that nobody gets a leg up for the first map. Now, Nepal has a lot of great points to be able to kind of work with. It looks like we're going to be starting off on Shrine, so Well, there we go. I was about ready to say,
There we go.
already heading out of spawn there. So,
Mhm.
K-Wing, what are some thoughts that you're having before we go into this?
One thought I'm having is that there was a very, very recent patch that just went through. I'm talking today it went through to live. And you have the Orisa buff, you have the Winston buff. There's a lot that's changed. And I think that personally, I think that it's going to come down to which of these teams between Blizzard Bears and Aphelion is going to make these quick adaptations to basically patch changes that came out like 6-7 hours ago, not even 12 hours ago, not even 24 hours. None of them have scrimmed it. None of them have. Some of these people might not have even played on this new patch. But we see Ryan's Zarya coming out from the Blizzard Bears, and we see Winston Zarya, that newly buffed Winston, and the newly buffed Reaper on both sides as they run out of the spawn gates. The teleporter coming out from Aphelion, now coming in Vet on this new Winston with the armor changes and the new Reaper with the shotgun changes, less damage, but much farther before that spread starts to come in. Already, a Beta Giant going to get a double kill on this McCree. Here comes Toxicity diving in, as you said, getting a double kill and a quick win for the Blizzard, a quick fight win for the Blizzard Bears, as Vet's going to have to try and run away from this fight.
So the issue that's coming in with the double bubble that I see right now is the aggression that has to come with it. You can't hold the objective like a Reinhardt when you're playing Winston, and Toxicity pulling back with the rest of the team, giving them some space to then be able to move in and get aggressive is exactly what Blizzard Bears needed to do there.
Absolutely. As we get into this next fight, Silent Wraith is going to fall. C-Team going to get that first pick, going really aggressive in on that Reaper, who is now just a tank sniper. Not very, very low, going to get taken down. Here comes the Vader Giants High Noon, going to get hacked out of it seems, and picks coming in both sides. The Shadow is going to come in, going to find Phenomenon, but nothing's going to come from it because Vet's in with a Primal Rage Monkey. That's not a fun thing to be, having that giant Winston 1,000 health coming in on top of you. But here comes the Reaper as well. The point's still for Blizzard Bears, but not for long. 50% for them, and the point flips over to Aphelion.
So now we're seeing the rotate that was not on the side of Blizzard Bears right there. They ended up pulling off the objective, essentially giving Aphelion so much space to be able to work with that they were able to get those initial picks that you saw C-Team able to lock down before actually taking the entire fight and the objective. Now, if Blizzard Bears want to make this work, they got to take this objective and they got to hold strong.
Absolutely. Toxicity is going to get hacked and going to get absolutely demolished by the Reaper. So falls Silent Wraith. Evelyn's going to get a double kill on the Moira. Not something very common. And a triple kill for Evelyn on the Moira. Not the hero you'd expect to see dominating the kill feed. But stranger things have happened. And stranger things will most likely come. A lot of ultimates on both sides now.
K-Wing, I feel like you haven't been in my Platinum games to know that Moira does get those final blows so often. But nevertheless, we see the flank getting ready to come in here, and we've got some ultimates online. Let's see if they can use them.
Absolutely. I'm looking for that EMP, maybe that EMP Death Blossom. That could be a deadly combo. Here comes the double grab from both sides. Here comes CT with the Death Blossom! 4 kills! It's just going to be all over the place. And Aphelion will hold. We're getting into last fight territory, but a lot of ults were used in that fight. Can Blizzard Bears retake?
Yeah, that was unfortunate right there, but very smart of Unholy not to drop that beat. It is definitely going to be a game changer going into this final fight as well as that Deadeye.
Oh. It's not going to do anything. Oh, Unholy. The High Noon will find C-Team, and the Shadow will find both supports. Both supports are down. Trico very low. A Beta Giant is going to find both of them, and it might just be that Shatter will save this point for the Blizzard Bears, as Aphelion going to try and will get out crucially, but the point will flip to Blizzard Bears.
Yeah, that was just really unfortunate right there. You know, Unholy using the beat to lead in instead of waiting for Hooch, who, if you were tracking it, knew had the EMP at that point. It was just incredibly unfortunate, but they were able to pull it back with enough picks to lock it down. But Vet getting ready to move on this flank again. Let's see if they can get it.
Absolutely. Vet's coming in with this Winston. Much more armor, so he's much more tanky, able to jump in and take a little bit more punishment before he's forced to jump out. Just playing around this cover, trying to get some ult charge. Toxicity doing the same. And now, Unholy's going to be the first to fall. You don't want to lose your Lucio. Collywog's going to fall, and well, C-Team's going to pick up 2 kills on this retake, and it looks like a clean retake for Aphelion. Not sure if anyone's going to be able to contest, as overtime is going to burn away. No one's going to touch, and round 1 is going to go to Aphelion.
Yeah, that was a rough one right there for Blizzard Bears. They just weren't taking the aggression like they should have been during those fights, and I think that that's ultimately what is going to have cost them. It's really going to take Blizzard Bears trying to... it's been interesting because Vet hasn't been as aggressive on the Winston as you would expect them to be. You know, diving in, getting in some damage, diving out, a very much more dive-ish set. You know, Vet's been playing more passive, almost like a Reinhardt in monkey form, which normally hasn't worked, but, you know, maybe those buffs are doing just enough that it's, that is in fact going to be the case. And with Hooch back on this, Sombra again, it's something that Abated Giant and Silent Wraith are really going to have to be looking out for so that they can keep their team safe.
Absolutely. I think these Reaper changes that came in, he's able to be a lot safer in taking his damage. As we get into this first fight, a lot of aggression coming in from Aphelion. Toxicity is being pushed back, but will it be enough? Who's just actually going to hack Silent Wraith off the side? And Toxicity and Abated Giant will both find picks of their own. Coming in now, Toxicity just getting so much ult charge, already at 85%. The point hasn't even gone the way of Blizzard Bears, but it will.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate set of circumstances right there. You know, the hacks were just coming in a little bit too late. Vet dived in, but was already at half health. And, you know, as I said, Toxicity is incredibly dangerous. If you give them an inch, they will indeed take a mile.
Absolutely, but here comes that feed in from Aphelion, going to immediately find Abated Giant. But Toxicity does have that shatter, but I don't know if they're going to be able to use it. They will. They're going to find 2 on the ground. C-Team's going to fall, but Evelyn's Coalescence is going to keep everyone else up. Going to get some damage, going to get some healing. The point will flip just from that aggression from Aphelion, and they're going to take the fight off the back of that.
So once again, we're finding the same issue that we saw on Shrine, is that Blizzard Bears are trying to bunker down in that side room, but they're giving up the space that Aphelion needs to be able to move in. When you're working with the double bubble composition, it's all about taking the open space, not the closed space. So,
absolutely,
man,
all 6 members of the Blizzard Bears, and there's just nothing you can do when all 6 of your team members.
Thank you.
Poor Silent Wraith.
Dor now best producer for following everyone down into the pit. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, you know, that's honestly the best move that Blizzard Bears could have made right there. They didn't have beat. They didn't really have a whole lot to counter it other than Abated trying to get the stun. Let's see if this Graviton Surge will do something.
It's going to do something. Trico is going to use that beat drop. A lot of ults coming out, but the Death Blossom and the High Noon will find all that they need. Silent Wraith will come away with 3 kills in that fight, and Toxicity will find the last one out of Trico as they retake pretty quickly for Blizzard Bears.
Yeah, that was a lot of investment to be able to pull that back. And of course, Aphelion has ultimates that they're sitting on as well. That Graviton, that Primal Rage, especially from Vet, if they pull back to the objective, is going to be super dangerous. Let's go ahead and see.
But if they lose their Moira that early to a Wayward Fire Strike, they can't really do much about it, and they're going to have to pull back. and wait until Evelyn gets back. Thankfully, they're not very far, so they're just going to push in. And like you said, a lot of ultimates. You have the Graviton, you have the Reaper ultimate, you have that Death Blossom. Here they go. The hack comes in. C-Team already finds Collywog. So that's a good sign of things to come. C-Team will find another. Who shall fall? But C-Team's going to find 3, putting the team on his back saying, how are you doing? We're going to go with the High Noon. A Beta Giant will find 2 with it. And C-Team's still getting all the picks in. It looks like Blizzard Bears are going to find what they need. The Shadow's going to come in. It'll find C-Team. Not going to do anything, but it looks like Blizzard Bears, it might just be a matter of time. But a Beta Giant is determined to make it their point and keep it that way over time, slowly ticking down. And will anyone be able to delay this? The beat's going to come in from Unholy to keep the members of Blizzard Bears up. Silent Wraith going to find 2. C-Team going to use the Death Blossom, not going to find anything. The Slams are going to come in. Collywog will fall off the side, but it might not be enough from this Wrecking Ball. That knockback has been nerfed very recently, and a Beta Giant will find the pick onto Vet, onto Trico, and 1-1, we will tie up the rounds going into the tiebreaker round of Nepal.
Yeah, that was the absolute biggest issue with this these recent set of changes, is the fact that, you know, Wrecking Ball has indeed just been a staple in compositions over the last month or so, just due to that boot factor. And on a map like Sanctum, getting that knockback reduced, especially against Orion, who already has Steadfast that keeps him in place for the most part anyway, it just ends up being incredibly deadly if that Ryan isn't sitting on the edge to begin with.
Absolutely. I mean, I think someone did tests in the workshop, and Wrecking Ball's boop is now about as powerful as Lucia's, just for comparison.
Dang.
So, yeah, he got absolutely demolished. I think it's even less powerful than Lucia. So just for context there, and what? Aphelion using the Maywall and the teleport to get behind the members, but Toxicity swinging for the fences already has 80% ult charge, and the point hasn't even unlocked yet. Toxicity, I'm trying to get the name there.
No worries.
How much ult charge is happening? Oh my gosh. Silent Wraith will fall early though, and Toxicity struggling to get anything going. Going to get the Shatter, but not going to be able to use it, as the picks all coming in for the members of Aphelion, and they're going to push forward, and they're going to take this first fight.
So this is going to be the hardest fight that they're going to have, because for a map like Village, locking it down with the May Symmetra is pretty much a death sentence for anyone that enters this area. The goal is going to be to try to bait them out so that they can get a pick or two off the objective, and then try to lead in so that they can deal with the extra damage that comes from those turrets.
Absolutely. The amplification magic is going to be used, but Bed will find Murph immediately, and Toxicity will fall as well. And now it is a mad dash away from the point for the Blizzard Bears. Oh, Unholy's going to fall late as well, and another one fight for Aphelion.
Yeah, it really seems like Aphelion has found their groove today, because it is rocking and heavy right now. Blizzard Bears really need to be able to get their act together if they want to find a way to turn this around in their favor.
Absolutely, and they have the extra damage of the Reaper, newly buffed. Here comes a Shatter. It's not going to find anything. Maybe a little bit of a mispress there, but the Shatter from Vet's gonna find a lot. The Blizzard will come in as well, and it's a clean sweep. Silent Wraith the only one able to get out of that fight. Now we're in last fight territory for the Blizzard Bears. They're gonna need a miracle to turn this one around.
Yeah, that Miracle is literally right. Toxicity coming down with the Shatter. Probably thought they were a little further to the right when they dropped down, but, you know, always double check real quick before you lay that Shatter down, because you only get one shot. Coalescence leading in, though.
Absolutely. A lot of ultimates being invested. They need to turn this around quick, and it looks like they might just do that. The Death Blossom is going to come in, though, from Silent Wraith. I'm not sure if that might have been the play, but regardless, they will flip the point, and Aphelion will be forced to retreat from the point, as it'll tick up for Blizzard Bears, but they need a legendary hold to even have a chance to tick into overtime for themselves.
We are heading into the next 4 fights right here, with it being enough for Blizzard Bears to try to hold on. But with Vet's track record right now, it might not be enough for them to hold.
Absolutely. 3Cook going to use the beat. Evelyn going to use the amplification matrix. Here comes the beat from Unholy as well. And the grab coming out from Collywog. Not going to find any picks, though. You have that Baptiste or Mortality field coming in. Wall going to come in to provide some cover. And in fact, a Beta Giant is going to fall early for the Blizzard Bears. Here comes the Shatter from Vet. And it'll seal the fate of the Blizzard Bears. And it looks like sealing Captain Jack's predictions are not going to be correct.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
not.
sorry, buddy.
Rip. Well, you know what? It just, the score is one thing, the whole match is a different story. So, there is still so much game left to be played. The beautiful play of the game from Vet just was getting absolutely shatter after fat shatter coming out from Vet. Exactly what I expect from a beautiful Rhine main such as himself. And it's really going to, it just comes down to the synergy of it. C Team was able to do exactly what I was telling Blizzard Bears to do. They isolated a couple of members of the team off point with the Maywall. They were able to pick them off initially and then move into the objective to grab the rest of them. You don't want to try to brawl it out on point if you can help it in Village because of the close quarters. If anything, you want to try to get those initial picks and then put the odds into your favor. But Blizzard Bears ain't out of this yet. I mean, they took freaking Ragnarok to a 3-2 during the preseason. So these folks have got some amazing traction going into this match. Like, there's no question about it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they lock this down going into our next match, which it looks like we're going to be headed to Temple of Anubis for our next map. Now, Temple does allow that brawl composition to be rather effective and can be utilized well. It's more so, it just seems the coordination that is coming from Blizzard Bears doesn't seem to be as focused as it is coming from Aphelion.
Absolutely. I mean, just from that, in that last map, they had just 79% kill participation. That's really incredible. And 52 eliminations. They had a very dominant performance that match. So as we look to our next map, we're going to be going into a quick break as we look towards Temple of Anubis with Aphelion up 1-0, but there's still a lot more Overwatch to be played. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We have our map 2 between Blizzard Bears and Aphelion. In our first map it was pretty close. It was not as much of a blowout as we might have thought. Aphelion taking it 2-1, but pretty close throughout, with some incredible Winston play and Reinhardt play by Vet on Aphelion. And now getting into map 2, Temple of Anubis. We talked a bit about that sort of brawl comp that you can see on Temple of Anubis, but any predictions for rosters from both of these teams, Jack?
I mean, it looks like we are going to see some swaps for the side of Aphelion, I believe. It looks like they're going to have Toxic Jr. coming in this time around. So, will be interesting to see kind of how that changes the composition. I don't think we see we see Feminon coming in for the side of Aphelion. Goodness gracious. So both of these changes should alter kind of how the chemistry of the team goes just a little bit, but maybe not by much. And although we ended up seeing a 2-1 coming in for the side of Aphelion on Nepal, to say it was close is... I don't know. I don't know if I could say that it was close. It seemed like Aphelion kind of was trying to do something with the double bubble, and it didn't work out in their favor on that second map as well as it did on the first map. But even on the first map, it seemed that it was more Blizzard Bears playing more passive than it was Aphelion playing aggressive and taking that objective. So it's going to be interesting to see how this comes out. We got no Reaper play from either side as we see the double bubble being released once again from the side of Aphelion with this double shield comp. The horse! She's back, folks!
But even more than the horse, we have a baited giant on the one and only the Junkrat, the J Silly, coming in. Very good on Temple of Anubis because it's very, very tight corridors, very, very tight choke points that you have to push through, and Junkrat just absolutely spams down those choke points. Can do so much damage, get that all charged so quickly, and Gooch will find out the terror of the J Silly quicker than any on their team, immediately going to fall to the trap. A very unfortunate death, and already a lot of ult charge for a beta giant on 43%. And now coming in, that going to do a high jump. Murph going to be caught out a little bit, but Toxic Jr. going to take down C Team. Unholy will fall to their counterpart. A beta giant going to get another kill onto Feminon. And now the double shield looks like it's holding, but pushed back pretty far all the way to the point.
Yeah, honestly, double shield is probably one of the best for an objective like this, because the way that Temple of Anubis is set up is even with the high ground advantage, you got a bunker on point. And it's really working out well for them. Abated is pretty much taking control of the high ground, which is working out well for them. C-Team not being as aggressive on that Echo as you would expect. And if that aggression hypes up anymore, well, never mind, because Toxic's gonna just take him out of the sky.
Yeah, Toxic has a plan for that. Here comes the High Noon, here comes the Pulse Bomb, all the ultimates coming in. None of them finding anything. Bet's actually going to find Murph, though, and a lot of picks coming in for Aphelion, and their attack is going to succeed for point A, and they're going to take it with about a minute and 50 seconds on the clock as they get a time boost heading into point B. Some ultimates on the side of the Blizzard Bears, so they probably won't snowball looking into this next attack.
Possibly is not a guarantee, though. I wouldn't tell you how many Qs I've seen whiffed before, and that's if Aphelion doesn't take them out before they even get a chance to use them. Toxic is already swapped over to the Soldier 76. Not necessarily the pick I'd make for this map, but, you know, that's why I'm not playing competitively. So, Hooch, though, on this Tracer is working out really well.
Absolutely, a beta giant is going to find Trico on the Brigitte. Going to get slept, however, but it looks like that will be a retreat called into the Blizzard Bears. Now, a pretty good ultimate use to delay that attack and stop a snowball from happening.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues that I'm noticing right here is just the positioning of where Unholy is right now. Really trying to keep the Junkrat protected when really they should be watching this backline, because Hooch is just all over this backline. Been getting pick after pick. Let's see if these bongos help.
Absolutely, Bongo and the window coming in, but the picks are heading on the side of Aphelion. A Beta Giant will get one, but everything else is all Aphelion, and they're going to get almost a team kill as the points ticking up. The stall is going to come in though. Hooch will find the pick onto Murph. The stall is going to come in. Toxic Jr. just trying to keep this point alive just for a little longer until the respawns come in. Collywog will fall quickly, and it's stall hero central for everyone. A Beta Giant close to this Riptire, but there might not be enough time to use it. As the point ticking up 88% now, they just need something, anything to stall out. A Beta Giant going to try and use the Riptire. We'll see if it can get anything, or if it'll even get there in time. Here it comes, but it's only going to find C-Team. That could be something, but it's just not going to be enough. 2 minutes and 42 seconds for the members of Aphelion.
Yeah, unfortunately, the staying power for how Blizzard Bears was trying to lock down that objective on the defensive was just not. You know, the positioning was just really weird. Like, they knew that Hooch was continuing to come into that backline, and so, rotating to that right side would have been the right move so that they could really see Hooch coming and they wouldn't be giving up space on the right side of the objective. But for some reason, they continued to stay staggered out, knew that Hooch was coming, but didn't deal with it. And ultimately, when Vet dove in, that was it. Like, it was gone, said, and done at that point. The monkey dove in with the nano, did all the damage that Tesla cannon can pump out with that nano, and the rest is history. It became a stall comp after that. Now, what interests me even more now is seeing the double bubble on the defense.
It is definitely interesting. Double bubble is a lot. It's a different strategy to be playing on defense versus on offense. But Murph, it looks like it's going to be sticking on this Mercy with the Beta Giant. Maybe on the Widow just for maybe an opening pick with a double sniper, but we'll see what happens as they come out of spawn, if any picks are going to come out. There's not a lot of shielding that they have, so the double sniper might be a good idea, but with this Winston dive, it could also be their undoing as they approach this first choke. Very difficult to get through when you have Hooch running around the sides. A Beta Giant up on top. Toxicity is going to dive in, but so is Vet right on top of Beta Giant, going to fall immediately. That's just how Vet rolls. Toxicity will fall, and that is a quick fight win for the members of Aphelion that are going to hold their first attack.
Yeah, it just seems like maybe the options that they're going with here isn't going to give them the value that they're hoping for. Toxicity dove in, and as the monkey, you want to try to keep as much attention on you as possible, especially so that Abated could have gotten those shots on Widow, but immediately drop back down, and now they're pushing through the side room like they got a Reinhardt.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Nope.
Absolutely. Toxic Jr. finds an early pick, but immediately it's answered by 2 for Aphelion, and they're going to hold again just on that quick dive into the corner.
Yeah, this strategy that Blizzard Bears is using right now isn't going to work out for them, and swapping over to the Rhine is the better option. It doesn't seem like they've practiced the double bubble as much as they would have liked, and realizing these changes now, probably something they're going to have to go back and practice. So with that coming up on that primal and them hitting into the side room, it's going to be all monkey business for Blizzard Bears.
Absolutely, but they are not going to be monkeying around as Vet is going to jump in there with a Nano online and with the Primal Rage coming in a pretty small room. It's a recipe for disaster. Toxtricity go against the Nano. All the Nanos are coming out all over the place. Phenomenon to get it, and then Toxtricity. Both these main tanks just trading picks, it seems, but it looks like it will be Aphelion holding, despite maybe a bit of a numbers disadvantage, but they have that spawn distance, so you bet that
Give
you
it
will
half a
see a quick
second.
push
They're
coming
gonna
in.
start. Yep, there they come again. It wasn't even
There
going to
it
be half
comes.
a second. They were just trying to get regrouped, and the push coming in. They have the numbers.
Absolutely, the High Noon's gonna come in. It's not gonna find anything. Hooch has this Pulse Bomb. They have the grab Pulse Bomb combo to maybe try a retake. Here it comes, Phenomenon coming in. The Bob's gonna get thrown out, but the Pulse Bomb will find two. A Beta Giant's High Noon will find two himself, but it won't be enough. And now a minute left for Aphelion to get something, anything going.
Yeah,
So
this is really rough for Blizzard Bears right here. I'm not for certain what is going on with their team today, whether it be coordination or whatnot, but you know what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks, we are not seeing it tonight.
Absolutely, Beta Giant's going to fall early, and the Sun's going to come in on a Collywalk. Here comes the Graviton, but there's just no one left alive to come up and follow in on it. And Vet's going to find two, and that'll be cleanup. Not much time. They're going to need to try and get something to stall it out. Toxtricity going to come in on the Wrecking Ball now, but not even gonna touch. There's just nothing that the members of Blizzard Bears can do, and they will not get a touch. And 2-0 for Aphelion. Good play from them, and pretty dominant play, if we're talking honestly.
Yeah, this is a complete turnaround from the Aphelion that we were hearing about last week. I'm not for certain if they just kind of went back to the drawing board and really put it all together or what, but you know, it is just everything is just coming up Aphelion right now. Blizzard Bears having a really hard time dealing with this either dealing with the coordination of Aphelion or dealing with their own coordination to try to make these plays. You know, I don't know, it's going to be a struggle. Blizzard Bears have the ability to bring it back. I cannot say that the Blizzard Bears that we saw in preseason are exactly what we're seeing tonight. So, you know, hopefully they'll be able to go into halftime, kind of shake it off, you know, get that mental reset. I'm not for certain if something's going on in the back line that's kind of distracting them, but, you know, second half is all about that beep beep. So let's see if they can make that reverse sweep happen.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the match between Blizzard Bears and Aphelion. We thought coming into this that Blizzard Bears were going to come in. They had a strong showing against Ragnarok, but they were going to come in and they were going to pretty dominant against Aphelion, but the result so far has been anything but, with Aphelion coming out in dominant fashion, up 2-0 now, and it's just been a good showing for Aphelion. It's been a good showing for Vet, and we're going to go into our third map now, which is our hybrid map. I bet you'll never guess which map we have picked.
No way.
It's King's Row.
Yeah.
I get to see that ever.
Is there even another hybrid map at this point? Really? Honestly,
I don't think so. I've never seen other hybrid maps. It's all other hybrid maps. Fake
I guarantee you, folks. You go all the way to Event Week, and you go back on YouTube, and you check out all these videos. I guarantee you, every single broadcasted match will be King's Row. I'm betting. I'll put money on it right now that they'll all be King's Row. Why? Because everyone loves King's Row. Except for the casters that see it every freaking match they cast. If it's on the docket, it's gonna be there. And, you know, I can't say that I'm surprised. Now, as we were talking earlier, you know, big patch just came out today. Winston's got some meat. Arissa's got some meat. You know, Reaper is now the new hit scan with his double akimbo pistols that he now has. You know, this really is solidifying kind of this double bubble dive meta that we've been seeing for a while now. And, you know, once you get into this higher level of play, like, you can get away with the basic compositions and harmony tier. But when you start making your way up to Discord tier, the meta starts becoming a lot more valuable, a lot more utilized. And that's really going to come down to which team can figure out the key points of that meta, practice it, and utilize it to the best of their abilities. And right now, Aphelion is holding that pretty strong, but, you know, we've got that grand old flag flying for the side of Blizzard Bears right now. They're coming out with the May Reaper along with the Ryan Zarya, so the modified goats, if you will. So I don't know. It's possible that they're able to make it happen. Hooch has been making a lot of moves. Vet's been making a lot of moves. They know who they need to shut down. I just hope Blizzard Bears has it in them to make sure that they go down quickly.
Absolutely. The Ryan Zarya May Reaper, the Goat's Cranberry, basically. And just, it's very much that similar style to what we saw in Goats, with a lot of aggression. We see Ryan Zarya on both sides with a McCree for the Reaper on this for the Blizzard for Aphelion, and a lot of aggression coming in from Aphelion. They're going to get the early 2 picks. Phenomenon going to get 1 as well, and it just seems like everyone going to help out in that team kill. Immediately going to take point A. All the spawn's going to be early for Blizzard Bears, but they are not going to try and recontest here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're aggressive.
Man, you know, Toxtricity is trying to get out there and trying to be aggressive, but it's the team support that is coming in for Vet to allow this team to be strong here. And the Maywall's up, as well as this window. It's gonna be enough to end up chasing down Collywog and leaving them at a minor disadvantage, but, you know, if they group back up, they might be able to get it.
Absolutely. Murph is going to use that Coalescence. Unholy will fall, and Silent Wraith going to get frozen and smacked by Vet. And just this amount of aggression. The payload is only 50 meters from the start of point B, and and Aphelion are acting like they're already into point C, as Hooch just gets to sit on the cart and have a lovely
Yeah.
old time.
I was about to ask, typically you see the supports, one of the supports sitting on the cart, but good old Buddy McCree, oh my gods.
Oh, a lot of ults coming out here. The Blizzard's going to catch 4 from Toxic Jr. Here comes the grab. Here comes that Death Blossom. It's going to get 4! Wraith with the Death Blossom. That's one way to put a stop to the momentum. But every ult that any member of Blizzard Bears has been used. Only Murph is even within earshot of their ultimate.
Yeah, that's not a good way to retake the objective. Is to take it all out, but that initial pick on Evelyn might at least slow down Aphelion from pushing back in again.
Absolutely, and here comes the aggression that you do want to see from this Ryan Zarya comp. You get a pick, especially a pick like that onto the main support, onto Evelyn, when they only have that Lucio heals, which is substantial, but not much. You really do want to see that aggression. As we get into this next fight here, Collywog's going to go low. Here comes Hooch with the high noon, going to get out of LOS, going to push the Blizzard Bears back a little bit, and a lot of ults coming in. Vet's going to get a smack in onto Toxic Jr., and Collywog is just caught completely away from the rest of their team, going to get sped away by Unholy. Some pretty good peels, but just not going to be enough. The flank did not end up working out, as now in this fight, just not going to be a lot that the members of the Blizzard Bears can do, and pushing for it again are Aphelion.
Yeah, the rotation that came out there we saw this on the first push through the streets as well, is that Blizzard Bears are trying to go for this pincer attack when they don't have the staying power on their tanks to utilize it properly. The Zarya works in combo with the Rhine, not separate from the Rhine. And so when you split up the team like that, you essentially leave both sides weak. That wasted shatter is not going to help.
Neither is Vet's wasted shatter, but honestly, at that point, you know that Blizzard Bears needed that shatter a lot more than Aphelion, I would argue. As we get into this next fight here, Feminon going to get Toxicity down. That's a huge pick. The Reinhardt really is the linchpin of the Ryan Zarya composition. The grab from one side and the Blizzard from the other. Both beats going to come in, but here comes the high noon, the graviton. Feminon going to get Unholy, and Toxic Jr. is going to fall, but the cart slowly pushing towards the goal, and it looks like with a lot of time left, just the ball left on the stall.
Oh,
it
no.
won't be long. 3 minutes. Oh, poor below the map. 3 minutes and 6 seconds for Aphelion. That's a good King's Row time bank.
That was just a rip on Collywog too. Able to come in, but instead of slamming down on the cart, ended up slamming off on the one side as a ball you don't want to be, which is that big old hole. And Tricio just said, "All right, hole in one, here we go," and there they went right off the side. Unfortunate, but it's like I was saying earlier. Blizzard Bears and this coordination really need to be bringing this together. Now you're fighting on an even playing field. You can't say that it's the new composition that's what's hurting them right now, because we're seeing the same thing coming out from Aphelion, and they're working it better. One of the advantages that they could have had in the streets is we ended up seeing Toxic Jr. pop in the wall in the choke when they got that initial pick on Evelyn. It was a 5v6 fight, but instead of engaging on that, utilizing the wall to their advantage and trying to take down the rest of Aphelion to stagger out that point even more, they just kind of left them. If you set something up, if your team sets something up, you got to try your best to take advantage of that. And right now, Blizzard Bears are just being a lot more passive tonight. I'm not for certain what it is. Maybe game day jitters. I'm not for certain.
Absolutely, that is something that you definitely can consider as we get into a pretty interesting composition from Blizzard Bears. They've got the Ryan Diva coming out. The Immortality Field coming out from Evelyn. Going to keep the members. What are they? They're fighting in this
When Dor forgets that we can hear him and nobody else can. Having a moment of a tiny Overwatch in there ends up working out bad for Toxtricity as they move back into the objective. I think that's going to be it for them as they go ahead and move their way back. Silent Wraith trying to get a pick right there, but I don't think it's going to end up working out for them. But yeah, using that hotel to try to and that's a fat finger right there, unfortunately. They're gonna try to utilize it.
They're gonna try to do their best here. Here comes the Blizzard from C Team and the High Noon from Hooch. There's a lot happening here. Here comes the Shadow from Toxtricity. It's going to get 4. The return Shadow is going to get 4. There's so much happening. C Team with the beats coming out. Trico going to get those picks, but somehow, some way, in this ult fiesta at the ult carnival, it's going to be Aphelion coming out on top and pushing into Spawn. The Maywall is coming out just to protect the members of the Blizzard Bears in Spawn, and that's when you know that Vet is just being, there's no other word for it but a Chad.
Yeah, I mean, but if you know Vet's play from the last couple of seasons of Tranquility, you know that they are that MVP Rhine player that every team wants, and Aphelion is loving it right now, and they are allowing this aggression to be as punishing as one would hope. The Blizzard,
is going to come in. It's going to divide the entirety of Aphelion. Vet will fall first, but Unholy is going to fall first. Here comes the Death Blossom from Silent Wraith. It's going to get Evelyn and going to find Feminon as well. Silent Wraith might just be able to do something here. Going to get taken down by Hooch, but it will just be able. They will get this first point after a bit of struggling. About 1:15 on the clock as they push into point B.
A bit of struggling, I would say, is a stretch. It was a major struggle right there, and I almost thought that Toxic Junior's Blizzard was actually going to be a huge waste because it ended up a lot of Aphelion ended up being out of sight. But as you said, they took advantage of the picks that they could get early, and
no! But here comes the Blizzard. It's going to get Murph. And C Team will find a triple kill in this tiny little archway, and that's not good if you're a Blizzard Bears fan. It's very good if you're an Aphelion fan, because this archway is very nice to hold on King's Row.
No, I disagree with you, actually. All those ultimates that they just wasted is going to be the reason that Blizzard Bears push through this point, and we're going to see it happen right now.
Here it comes, and not a lot of ultimates on the side. Some ultimates on the side of the Blizzard Bears, but we got to see how they use it. Here comes Evelyn's window. Toxic Jr. is going to take them down, though, immediately going to fall. Toxtricity will also take down their counter in Vet, and the beat is going to come out, but already a few members down, and it will be, as you predicted, a fight win for the Blizzard Bears. The card's moving.
Yeah, it ended up just coming down to the ultimate usage. You know, we saw the Blizzard come out, and instead of Hooch waiting for that shield to go down from Toxtricity, ended up sending it in.
No.
Getting aggressive.
The Shadow from Toxtricity is going to get 5, and the payload's just going to keep going. The Blizzard is going to come out, though, and so is the Coalescence, so it might be a little bit of an overinvestment there from Blizzard Bears. That could be doom down the line, but we're not going to focus on that now because they will be taking point B, moving on to point C.
I'm feeling it. It's a beep beep. I feel the beep beep. They got their rhythm, and this is exactly how they're punishing that aggression from Vet and the rest of Aphelion, is that they're staggering their ultimates, knowing the big ultimates are coming in. Woo!
That's going to be taken down. Hooch is going to find a double kill, though. Might turn that around. Both the DPS for the Blizzard Bears are down, and they're getting chased away already. getting pushed back to the spawn. This is the thing with Aphelion that we've seen so much of, is even when they have 1 or 2 advantage in the numbers, they just push and push and push into the spawn of their enemy team. They're just so aggressive.
Yeah, and that aggression is starting to bite them in the butt a little bit, and I'm hoping that Blizzard Bears are now starting to figure that out. You know, they've staggered out ultimates in positions that they can get the picks that they're looking for. Now with Silent Wraith taking out Hooch to start, they are setting up really good for this next fight.
Here comes the Graviton. C-Team's going to come in with the Blizzard as well. And everyone, and it seems like a few people inside of it. Toxic Junior going to fall Silent Wraith as well. There's both the DPS for the Blizzard Bears, and they're going to get pushed back. Collywog will be the last domino to fall, and that's a full retreat back to spawn for the Blizzard Bears.
All right, it looks like C-Team's using those walls a little bit more effectively than the first couple of times we saw it during this defense. Blocking Vet off with the enemy team and blocking a Shatter. Definitely not a good way to start, but Murph gonna go ahead and vest that Cole. Let's see if it pays off.
The Death Blossom from Evelyn. Going to find a pick. The beat is going to come in from Trico, but pretty late. Both Hooch and Evelyn are down, not going to benefit them. And now some stuns coming in. Unholy and Toxtricity will both find some picks to seal it off, and we'll see if they can get any sort of stagger. C-Team pretty low, going to use it, just going to barely survive there, and now it is Blizzard Bears' time to push forward and be aggressive. Oh, Murph finds C-Team as well. Let's get into this. Hooch going to use that High Noon, going to just put a stop there. Won't find any picks, but it is that zoning ultimate. Hooch will find Silent Wraith, and Toxic Junior is going to get booped off by Trico. That is definitely what you want, as both DPS are gone. So goes Murph. And now the members of the Blizzard Bears, they need to run away, but there's no one left to run. There's 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that did not pay off for them the way that they had hoped. Using the payload as a blocking measure for the Deadeye would have been much more effective, and now they're finding themselves without more than a hope and a prayer to be able to try to touch this objective. I think it's going to come down to Unholy and Murph, but oh man.
Absolutely. But the Graviton and the Blizzard are just going to come in, and is anyone going to be able to stop? Oh my gosh, Silent Wraith is at the blue, but Trico comes in with the Lucio. Oh my gosh, Lucio with the wall riding. 0.62 meters, they will put a stop to it. Oh, that could have been a vicious C9. And 3-0 for Aphelion.
Oh, man. Whoa. You know what? This is the reason, folks, that I don't go to the casino. All right? Because obviously, sometimes you think the odds are in your favor and just somebody comes out of nowhere and turns it around. And, you know, I shouldn't have bet. I shouldn't have bet against that big boy Vet. I really shouldn't have. And it's really coming out well that Vet is making this space, taking advantage of the discombobulation, if you will, coming out from the Blizzard Bears tonight. And I'm, you know, I'm still holding on though. You know, Toxtricity has been doing great on that tank. You know, those shatters have been absolutely huge, but it's been the wrap up afterwards. Like, shatter doesn't last nearly as long as it used to, so Ryan can't do that follow-up damage by themselves. If you don't see that follow-up coming in on those shatters, they end up, or those gravitons or anything else, they end up becoming wasted ultimates. So I'm really hoping that Blizzard Bears decide to turn this around. Heck, you know, we're heading into Escort. Get Cancer, fam. Just get Cancer. Put a Bastion on that point, bunker down with a double shield, and just run them all over if that's what it takes. You know, there's no shame in playing compositions like that. And you know, with this next map, it's definitely one that we see those types of compositions. The double sniper with so much space available to own the area, and y'all know it, you love it. It's get down. Sorry. Oh man, I really gotta get that checked. I gotta talk. Somebody call my doctor. I need to find out if there's a little Junkrat sitting inside me somewhere. All right.
Alrighty, as we get into
And
jumping
Kayling's
down.
like, God, why did I sign up to cast with Captain Jack? Obviously. Honestly. Oh, goodness.
It's fun. It's an interest. It's never a dull moment casting with you there. As we
That.
there we go. Never a dull moment. We get a disconnect, unfortunately, from Vet, which could be definitely not what you want coming into going into your last map there. But now we have that fourth map, and it's not for the win for Blizzard Bears, but it's a little bit for that sort of for the pride. You don't want to get 4-0'd. You
Yep.
don't want to get shut out like this. You want to say, we put up a fight. We're close to these guys. We can still say something. And going into this, we'll see what they can get done here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that they're not putting up a fight. I mean, Blizzard Bears seem to be giving it all they got. It just, it just watching the way that they're moving with one another. I did the beat drop with them, and listening to them and hearing about their matches and whatnot. They feel like a well-oiled machine. And tonight, I'm not seeing that. There's just some hiccups in the machine somewhere, a part that needs to be fixed, some communication that's just not getting through to the rest of the system. I'm not for certain what it is. And of course, with Vet being disconnected, that could amount to any number of things right now. We know that several states right now are encountering huge blizzard-like conditions, and if you're in one of those states, please know that we are here. We are thinking about you, and we hope that you are doing everything that you can right now to stay safe, even if you can't be here with us at the moment. So, this is unfortunately just one of those things that teams have to go through sometimes. Sometimes you come to the game on your best days. Sometimes not so much, and it depends on how you are as a team as to whether or not you'll be able to work through that. And, Blizzard Bears, this is just week 2. There's lots of Overwatch left to be played in the next couple of months, so I'm still going to hold out hope that you're going to be able to bring this back later in the season, but, tonight is looking pretty rough. Now, the question is, will they lock this down, though? Because with Junkertown, like we said, there's a lot of space to be had. The double sniper that they were trying to run on Temple of Anubis could be incredibly effective here. And it looks like possibly they might be coming out with the Orisa Hog as well. Being able to take up that space, Collywog having the breather will be able to kind of keep themselves healed rather than having to depend on the supports as drastically with the Rhine Zarya. There's a lot of different possibilities that could be coming out here, and I don't know. I'm holding out hope. Blizzard Bears, don't let me down. Don't let me down, you underdogs. You gonna bring it back. I believe in them. I know they can do it.
Come on, Blizzard Bears, don't let down your number one simp, Captain Jack. As we get into the...
You can't say that! You can't say that on Twitch anymore! You're gonna get us taken down, man! You're gonna get us taken down by the man!
As we get into an interesting sort of composition, you have the Ball Orisa with a double sniper and Mercy Zen. This is something that we were actually talking about during a break as a potential composition that we might see coming out from Blizzard Bears, but it looks like it's on the side of Aphelion. But we do have a fairly similar composition coming out on the side of Blizzard Bears, just with a Roadhog instead of the Sigma. And a lot of interesting choices coming in here. I'm interested to see how it'll work. Double sniper coming out from the Blizzard Bears as we get into this first few seconds of the game. Immediately, you see that Ashe Dynamite, and that's just such a good tool for Ashe, especially when you have that Mercy Pocket to get the ult charge. But Murph's going to fall down pretty quickly to a stray Hanzo Aerial. arrow, and that's not good. You don't want to lose that early. Toxtricity is also going to fall. And even when they're playing this composition that's not... Oh, what was that? A baited giant going to get that pick, going to fall down immediately. It would have been a beautiful trade, but there's just not many people left to capitalize off it as we get into the next fight.
Whoa! And already Team pulling out the Dragon Strike. Not going to be in a good position going into this, especially with Murph getting that opening pick.
Absolutely. Hooch and Trico are both going to be going down, and Hooch going to be switching off that Tracer onto the Widowmaker, going to be closer. But we had a baited giant on the Genji, and that's a pick I would question if he had not just gotten a double kill in that previous set.
Honestly, I wouldn't question it at all. It's a double snipers, Zenyatta, Sigma composition. There is a lot of projectiles to be reflected against. You don't have any stuns. The only big issue is getting domed by your brother or by your teacher. That's really the biggest issue that Abate's got right now. And even with the 5v6, they're going to be sitting pretty strong here. They've got the counters for the ball, but right now C-Team's just got a lot of space to work with, and with Toxtricity now on that Winston,
yeah, definitely. I mean, the picks coming in. A Beta Giant's going to get Trico, going to get Evelyn as well. This seemed all said and done for the members of Aphelion, but somehow the members of Blizzard Bears have brought it back from the brink, and they're going to hold pretty late into point A.
Yeah, how? I gotta just that a little bit. Like, C-Team got the initial couple of picks. You know, Collywog and Toxtricity are kind of playing solo tank right now. They seem to be going for their own picks instead of focusing. And Abated's just there to kind of clean up the action. There's a lot of ultimates getting ready to come online, and Abated out of the action to start again. Not going to be a good place for them.
Absolutely, the Grenade Flux is going to come in from the Sigma. Don't see exactly where it's going to be going. He's going to be high in the air. Toxtricity will fall to the Grenade Flux. Here comes the Mines as well. All the picks going the way of... all the picks going Aphelion's way. And the Dragon Strike is going to be coming out pretty late, but maybe even trying to go for the other spawn. Doesn't look like it will hit that or be very close. It was a long-range one, but Tox Jr. take down Hooch pretty early. That could be good for the retake.
Not necessarily. The spawn's right there outside the Junkertown doors, so they're going to get back in as that Tracer relatively quickly. But now it looks like we're moving into a dive composition with Collywog now swapping over to the Diva. Now, coordination has not been Blizzard Bear's strong suit tonight, so if they're looking to use this dive effectively, they better be ready to do so. And with Vet now on that monkey, it's definitely going to be an interesting trade.
Absolutely, Collywog has already been demacked. A Beta Giant has the Dragon Blade, but they're not going to get to use it. Trico says, no, you are not allowed to use Dragon Blade. C-Team will find Toxic Jr., and even though Hooch goes down, it's just not going to be enough. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Beta Giant, maybe a little late, but Unholy also using the Valkyrie. He's going to get 2 picks from it. That both the supports, but he's going to get taken down, and it might just be not enough. Unholy trying to, whip out the pistol, gonna see what they can get done, but it's not going to be enough. And the cart just going to push forward. A little stall coming in, but when you don't have everyone there, here comes Bob on the cart. Toxic Jr. and Collywog both going to get some picks. A Beta Giant as well, and picks are coming in for Blizzard Bears. Will it be enough, though? A absolute brawl on the point. Hooch is going to find Collywog. Toxtricity will also fall. And in a bizarre string of events, the cart will push into point C.
It's all about those swaps, man. Countering the counters. Vet came out on that monkey to deal with the baited, as did Tricio. All those stuns, those Tesla cannons can't be deflected. So it's really working out for now, Blizzard Bears, to turn this thing around and start countering those counters once again.
Absolutely, a beta giant is going to fall, and Hooch's Pulse Bomb will get eaten, but now you have 3 ults on the side of Aphelion, and that's a lot of ults. Here comes the Gravitic Flux, a lot of people in there. It's going to get takedown Unholy, and C-Team's Dragon Strike is going to get 3, and D-Meg the Diva. Oh, C-Team. I thought it wasn't going to be that effective because most of them were on top, but it proved me wrong.
Yep, it ended up being third time indeed for Dragon Strikes is the charm there after we saw the first 2 go down. And now it's going to be a battle of holding on to this objective as long as possible. Collywog coming up on that Diva Bomb. Let's see if they can make it work.
Absolutely, Vet just coming in on the Winston, just denying all the space. But you don't have an infinite amount of HP. Here comes the Dragon Blade from a Beta Giant. He's just going to get demolished. Trico just using obscure knowledge of the law, knowing that Genji cannot Dragon Blade you without your consent. Just use that in your rank games. Trust me, it'll work. Evelyn is actually going to pick up a double kill as this round coming to a close. Here comes the Doomfist. Beta Giant going to punch a lot of people into the air. It's not going to be enough as Hooch's Pulse Bomb will explode, sounding out the end of round 1, a minute 15 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, that was just some really bad timing there from Collywog because they were sending the Diva Bomb out and ended up taking the damage from the Pulse Bomb as Mini Diva vice Big Mech Diva. So that was just an unfortunate chain of events right there. But again, it's all about the coordination that we're continuing to see from Aphelion that we're not seeing from Blizzard Bears. A minute and 15, still not a lot to scoff at when you're looking at an escort map. So it's going to be up to Blizzard Bears to try to figure out how to deal with this composition. Like I said, you got to go toxic, go toxic. Run that freaking a pirate ship. You know, bunker that sucker down. You know, if it works, it works. But, you know, what I'm seeing coming right now from Blizzard Bears is, oh boy, it's quite literally torture. It is going to be quite literally torture.
What kind of torture, Jack? Would you call it torture of the hog
Of
and
the
ball
hog and ball variety.
The hog and ball variety as we get into what could be the last push for this match. As the Blizzard Bears, they need to get to the end of this map, and they want to try and match what Aphelion has done. They need to get something going. They need some changes to happen. And they have changed up the comp, but we'll have to see if it'll change up the results as we have a Sig Ball as we get off the torturous comp on both sides. You have some interesting compositional choices. Beta Giant still on the Genji did pretty well. However, as we get in here, you have that Zenyatta on the side of Aphelion, and that's going to give you that extra damage with the Discord. Collywog will be the first to fall, and not very good to the Blizzard Bears on this push. You really want to set a good precedent with your first fight, and that's not what's happened here so far. Here comes the Pulse Bomb, going to get Murph, just barely on the Mercy, and now Murph is still down, and it's just not looking good for the members of the Blizzard Bears.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate timing of positioning between the two tanks, where we saw it cleaned up soon after by Aphelion by staggering out their tanks as well, and you know, just timing right now is not in Blizzard Bears' favor.
Absolutely, 2 people down to the Nano is going to go into Collywog. That will reduce the damage he takes, and oh no, Collywog, no, the Gravitic Flux is going to come out and it'll completely reset his ult charge as he's going to die immediately after in a bit of a panic ult.
Yep, Collywog, you're headed back to the pond, fam, because that was just, you know, it was a good idea in the moment because they were all grouped up. It would have been a huge flux. but you were in the middle of that too. That's not
Yeah.
you don't want to be the one that's in the middle of that. Let the rest of your team wait that out.
Absolutely. Bet is going to get hooked. You're going to get slept as well, but there's just all the picks going the way of Aphelion. And I say that, and 2 picks go the way of the Blizzard Bears. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Collywog going to get slammed to the ground from that Gravitic Flux, and the movement, he says in the chat, and Toxic Jr. going to fall, and it looks like it'll be a retreat for the Blizzard Bears, but they're all getting caught out. Toxtricity will follow the Pulse Bomb, and Beta Giant going to follow the C Team, and that's just not good. You don't want these staggers because it's crucial time off the clock for the Blizzard Bears.
That's true, and I feel like this is the Blizzard Bears' last ride for tonight. You know, they're trying to be aggressive against this composition without a composition that allows them to truly be aggressive. Now with Toxtricity back out on the Rhine, they might be able to make some of that space that they're waiting for.
Absolutely. But here comes the Beta Giant. Getting 2 with the Dragon Blade. What? Through the Pulse? Through the Transcendence, the Beta Giant will eventually fall. But almost all the picks going the way of Blizzard Bears. It seems like they just specialize in pulling something out of what seems like nothing. We say it looks like it's their last ride, and they just are determined to prove us wrong.
Well, you know what? In the biz, they call that crunch time. And it just seems that Blizzard Bears have got it on lock right now. A Beta Giant literally baiting out the Transcendence ended up going for the enemies on the periphery. With Murph's power boost, it was enough for them to be able to get those picks, despite the fact that Transcendence was providing healing. And after the Transcendence was gone, it was Blizzard Bears' time to shine. Now they got 2.5 minutes to try to push through this second part, and they're already halfway there.
Absolutely. Did you have Hooch on this flank going to run into a Beta Giant? Here comes the Gravitic Flux and the High Noon from Toxic Jr. Not going to find any picks, and he's going to get the Nano as well. A lot of ults coming in, and it will pay off. Toxtricity and a Beta Giant both going to find some picks. The Beta Giant will find a second one as a third as well, as they seal off, and they might be able to push this to the end of point B. Here comes the Dragon Strike though from C Team, throwing it out there.
Am I wrong to think that C Team has some of the weirdest Dragon Strikes? I mean, they're swapping now, but still, it's just when these Dragon Strikes are coming out, I'm just like, except for the 3K. Obviously, the 3K was a beautiful one. But oh no, Collywog's a little out of position.
Oh, the Shadow comes in. Even the Immortality will not protect you for long. Toxtricity. Here comes the Dragon Blade from a Beta Giant, going to get the flashbang, but he will not be denied. C-Team will find Toxtricity, but it will not be enough. They will die on the point, and the cart is going to keep moving. A Beta Giant pushing up to the spawn. They'll be able to get out though.
Where has this Blizzard Bears been? All freaking night. Where has it been? It's like somebody flipped a light switch the last couple of areas, because they are literally baiting and G-baiting Aphelion right now. It is working out in so many big numbers.
Oh no.
C-Team's bringing it back.
C-Team just gets a double kill. Toxic Jr. is going to find a pick with the High Noon, but it'll be the only blue in the kill feed, except for on the receiving end, as that's a quick fight win for Aphelion as they put a stop to that momentum.
Yeah, that's just absolutely unfortunate for them. They were making so much headway and then tried to take that side area where Reaper can just reign free, as it were. And now we see Aphelion taking control of that high ground. Great positioning to be. I hope you're keeping your eye on that payload, because that's going to be the real money shot. Oh, man, big round.
Oh, here it comes. The Gravitic Flux. Nano onto Collywog as well. Won't be able to build up some ultimate. Beta Giant does have the blade. Not going to be able to use it, though. As Hooch Gonna get 3 kills already and not even using the high noon yet. Hooch is going to pick up another. C-Team will fall, but it might not be enough as they have about 30 seconds left. Hooch will find another. And just Hooch just getting all the final blows. Why not? Only him in the kill feed, and a good play from Hooch.
It's coming down to 2 big ultimates right here, the Shatter and the Dragon Blade. It can literally shut down everything else as long as everybody's caught in it. That Deadeye to start, though, not... Whoa. Actually, you know what? Just rotate. No worries.
Oh, no, Murph. Oh, no, the Shadow's not going to get anything. The Blade's going to come in, but there's just not anything. The Beat's going to come in. The Death Blossom's going to come in, and there's just no one there. It's a team kill. It's a team wipe, and there's just nothing left. Trico, the last on cart, and it is a GG for Aphelion, showing that they, more than proving themselves with their first win of Season 6, proving that they can play pretty well. As look at C-Team just coming in with the Death Blossom right at the end there, and that was a great showing from Aphelion, and I don't know what else to say. That is with a incredible performance. So as we take stock of what happened in this entire match, as our expectations and our conceptions of these two teams flipped on their head, it seems.
Yep. Yeah, it really has indeed been kind of flipped on their heads. And that's, bring it back to what Mr. Yeti said on Monday. There's a reason that we do these predictions, and there's a reason we play the games. So the predictions give everybody an idea of who we're looking at, and the games show us who we really should be looking at. And obviously, us as podcasters have kind of been sleeping on Aphelion, which shouldn't be the case when it's got Vet on it. So Vet was just an absolute powerhouse tonight, which doesn't come as unexpected, which is why I'm giving him player of the match tonight. But let me tell you, though, that could not do it without the rest of the team. They were being absolutely empowered the entire night and emboldened, if you will, to be able to be as aggressive as they are. So Vet, congrats for your player of the match from me. Pop it off in the chat and let us know what you're all thinking about your player of the matches for tonight. And K-Wing, who do you got in your sights for that title?
As much as I love highlighting other people than my co-caster, I can't think of anyone else that I would give player of the match to rather than Vet, because oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It was I don't know what else to say rather than oh my gosh, because I can watch this match. Oh my gosh, what was that on this entire time? It was crazy stuff. Regardless, as came in and showed the Blizzard Bears what for in a 4-0 game. That losing the ability of words here. Just can't think of anything else than
no worries, fam.
Incredible.
I have got you. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight here at Overwatch Tranquility. If you'd like more action, we're going to be actually popping up another beat drop over at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/OW Tranquility. Right after this match, we ended up sitting down with Transcendence Tier Team Ember and get to learn a little bit about them. They've got a couple of old faces, couple of new faces, and we get to learn a lot about how they came together and what makes them such a great team and why we should be looking out for them. So be sure to check that out once again at youtube.com/OW Tranquility. Coming up for next week, we've got another fine set of matches coming out. As always, on Mondays, we got the Iris podcast, so be sure to be tuning in, figuring out who we're looking out for as podcasters so that you can start kind of figuring out where your eyes should be going into this next week. On Tuesday night in the Harmony tier, we have Jetpack Cats versus Maelstrom, two huge names in the Tranquility community, so you do not want to miss that match. Do not sleep on the Harmony tier, folks. Coming on Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m., we have Praxis versus Synergy. And then Thursday night will be a huge match in the Discord tier between Reminiscence and Frost. So we have got an action-packed lineup next week. You do not want to miss any of that action. So let me remind you again, hit that heart, punch that bell, subscribe if you can, because then you get extra channel points that you can then use to put into the giveaway and possibly get an awesome Trank shirt like this one for your very own for free. So lots of stuff to be doing in that. This is also the last match of the week for you to earn Trank points. So I hope that you are here to be able to do that. If you just look under the points column, you can see it. You can see the redeem for giveaway. And that's what we give away on Monday. You don't have to be present, but if you are, it's just that much more exciting. So be sure to be putting those in. We'll definitely give you time on Monday as well to earn those. Want to give a special thank you to Door, the producer tonight. Whoa, Contenders Door. Oh my gosh, I'm just so beside myself. I'm just absolutely stricken. Thank you so much, Door. That as always, you just put on an amazing performance, even though we only heard you in our ears for all night and nobody else got to hear it. Just an absolute great job taking on production tonight. Yeah, that's about all I got. So K-Wing, go ahead, take us out.
All right. We had a pretty amazing match today with a 4-0 victory by Aphelion, taking their first match win, going 1-1 over the Blizzard Bears, and in just a dominant fashion in our lovely Discord tier. I have been K-Wing, and I have been with Captain Jack. As he said, next game is going to be next Tuesday between Jetpack Cats and Maelstrom. Going to be exciting. I'm excited. Hope to see you there. And we will see you then. Go watch the beat drop.
Bye.